Hi, this is Rich from ReadyHeli. What I'd like to go over this morning with you is a couple basic tools that you're going to need to build a helicopter. You might have some of these, and hopefully we'll show you something that you don't have that might make your next build a little bit easier. Okay. First up is, first off, we also have all this stuff available at ReadyHeli, obviously, and you can purchase that here either as a kit. Some of these will come in a kit, and some of these you can purchase individually and separately. The first thing is really nice. It's not a requirement, but it's a nice thing to have. Is this mat here. It's called a cutting mat. It does a couple things for you. Number one, if you're using an X-Acto knife on here to cut tools and parts and such like that, it has a self-healing feature, which it's almost like a dartboard, where once you cut it, it will almost heal itself so you don't use it up in a week and then have to purchase another one. It also has a couple nice things on here for you. It has measurements in metric, measurements in standard. It has some dowel sizes here, wood sizes here, so it's not necessarily for building your helicopter, but it could be used for other hobbies as well. It's got some bolt information over here, and now obviously it's got some nice grids and stuff on here if you wanted to cut something and you could follow the lines. A really nice thing. Another thing for this is if you build on top of this and you drop screws, we all do that, it might make it a little bit easier for you to find them instead of having to search around on the floor or on your table to actually find the stuff that you've dropped. First up here we have a couple of your standard screwdrivers. Okay, what you have here is you have your standard straight slot screwdriver. Okay, again, you probably have some of these in your garage or in your hobby room already, unless you're buying these as a kit. This is your standard Phillips screwdriver or star screwdriver, whatever you'd like to call it. Again, you probably already have, but if you're buying a kit and it comes with it, it's a bonus for you. What we have here is we have hex drivers. Okay, now these come in obviously several different sizes. What you'd want to do is you'd want to look at your helicopter, your manual, and find out what size is required for your helicopter. You can buy them again individually or in a kit. There are two types of these drivers. There's hex drivers and there's ball drivers. Okay? And the hex driver, if you can look at it, it's squared off. So meaning it's flat shaped all the way around. Okay? These obviously offer you a little bit more torque when you're using it with the screws and such. The ball drivers actually are a little angled. So what happens with the ball driver, what you can do is you can come in on the part, on the item, screw or whatever, at an angle. If you have to go past a link, if you have to go past a rod or something like that to get into it, if you can't get a straight shot in. The only issue with the ball drivers versus the hex drivers is the ball drivers tend to strip out a little bit sooner than these. So this is your best bet to use these first. Use the other ones if you have to get into an area where you don't have a direct shot into the screw. Another nice item to have here is your nut drivers. Okay, this is the same thing as if you would have a socket wrench or a ratchet, in your home toolbox. But these are made for the hobby. So on the tail rotor box, on the tail gear assembly, when you have to put the self-locking nut on one side and have the hex drivers on the other side, you can get the proper size here. You can see it has a socket wrench type of a opening. It makes it real simple. You don't have to grab a hold of it with pliers and try to strip something out and make it look all marred up. So what you want to do is you want to turn around and just use that on one end, and then you'd use your hex driver on the other end, and it makes it really, really simple and saves all your components and everything so you don't strip them out. Again, different sizes, comes as a set or comes individually. Also, you have your X-Acto knife. Goes hand in hand with your X-Acto knife cutting tool. You'll need this obviously for cutting open the bags that have your parts in them, and if you have any extra plastic that needs to be shaped up on some of the parts that you have when you cut them away. Let's not forget our ReadyHeli mints. You want to have those as well. It's going to make your build go a little bit easier and a little bit more pleasurable. So you'll need a good load of those and put them on your table as well. What we have here is a ball sizing tool, a link sizing tool. Some of your helicopters have when you attach the links, it's very, very stiff. Now, what you want to do is when you put your links on there, you want them to be moving smoothly. So if you were to put it up at a 90-degree angle, it should fall down. If it takes effort to move that link, then you'll need one of these to kind of take away some of that plastic from inside the link and make that thing move a little bit smoother for you, because you don't want to have any binding or anything when you're servos. A standard ruler, again, you have measurements on your mat. If you don't have a mat, you have a standard ruler here. You have centimeters on one side, and you have standard inch measurements on the other side. What we have over here, you have CA and thread lock. Some kits will come with a small amount, and I say small amount, meaning you will need more than what comes in the kit. And you'll also want to have this into your field box so that you have it readily available in the field if you ever have an issue. I tend to use the medium CA type. There's a thin, which is almost like watery, it's almost too thin, and there's a thick, which is like a gap filler, which you don't really need. I would use the medium one. And the thread lock, there's two types of thread lock that you should use, one being the red and one being the blue. The most common is going to be the blue. The red is going to be for an area where you really don't want that nut or that bolt to come out. We have 3 different types of pliers that you're going to need as well. First, what we'll have is we have the needle nose pliers, okay? You can use these to grab onto things, obviously when you drop them. Hold on to nuts if you would, but again, the best option for that is a nut driver, okay? These also have a wire cutting spot right in there in the middle. Nice small size, fit in your toolbox if you want, really good. You have the side cutters or wire cutters. These are basically just used for that. You can use these for stripping wires when you're doing soldering jobs. Your best bet for that is to get a stripper tool by itself, a wire stripper tool by itself. It has different size holes in it for the different size wires, but again, you can use these regularly if you do it correctly. You have your ball link pliers. We're going to cover these here in a little bit as well. These will allow you to remove your ball links from your swash plate or your rotor head in a safe manner without marring up your links or the balls themselves. And this also will help you to adjust your links, and we'll cover that here when we get over to our link area. Hemostats. These are a third hand for you. What these do is they have a little latch right here which locks them into place. It's like a locking set of pliers. And most of them, like you see here, have a curved up angle. So if you wanted to get in and get somewhere, you just lock this onto the item, snap it, and it's not coming out. So you can actually lock this on something and then hold it with one hand and then do it with the other one. It makes it real simple to do adjustments when you need to. Nice handy set of tools to have. Let's not forget our ReadyHeli mints. We've been working a little while. We need a little refresher. We'll put our ReadyHeli mint back in there. Calipers. Most folks are going to use the digital caliper. That's the easiest one. You don't have to worry about looking at a needle around the gauge there. These are inside and outside calipers. Outside meaning if I was measuring something, like say I was measuring this here, you just put this, squeeze it in between there, and have the reading. If you're going to measure something on the inside, like the inside of the swash plate, for instance, if you want to see what kind of how big the shaft is, you flip it around. These will go on the inside. We can measure the inside of the hole on that ruler just by pushing these in here, coming on the outside of the hole, and that actually is 11 millimeters. Okay. This is a really nice handy tool that we have here. It's just a really small hobby vise. It bolts, it screws down, clamps down on any table. You can see the wide area here. It'll go on a table at this thick. Okay, it's got a rubber cushion on the top in case it's your dining room table, so your wife, your other person that lives with you doesn't get all upset because you're marring the table up. You just turn around, slide this under the table. Like so. Clamp it down. You've got a nice way to hold onto your items. This one here comes with these nice rubber protectors so you don't damage your equipment. Okay, what you want to do is you want to use them whenever you're using something that could get marred by the jaws of the vise. I use this for doing soldering. It works really well for that, but you'd want to remove these so that you don't melt the inside of the rubber when you're doing that. If you're going to use this for solder, what you'd want to do is you want to get some wood, just some small pieces of wood in here to put in between the jaws, because if you just close this down on your connector and heat it up with your soldering iron, the heat's going to go from the connector to the vise, and you'll never heat the connector up enough to melt your solder. So you want to secure that, or make sure that there's no connection, no way that the heat can flow into the vise. You just want it to go to the connector itself. Really, really nice tool. One of the nicest tools that you're going to have that you probably not aware of that will help you do your stuff. Standard soldering iron. Some people will use a soldering gun. I particularly like the soldering irons because you can change the tip on there to be either a thick one or a small one, depending on the work that you're doing. If you're going to clean up your helicopter real nice, what you're going to want to use is some of this. Okay, you have wire braid here, which is kind of like almost a Chinese finger trap. If you ever had one of those things that you got, you just spread this out here. You can see that it gets really wide. You stick your wire in there from your servo wire, and then it comes down and closes on it. And then once you've completed that, you want to take heat shrink of the right size. You want to put it over the wire. You'll cut like a small piece, maybe a 1/4 inch wide. And then once you do that, you'll go over here and you'll grab your heat gun and you'll heat that shrink wrap up, and that'll tighten it down on the wire, and you have a really nice clean looking helicopter. You can take the canopy off. You'd be proud to take the canopy off because you see all the clean wires and it would match your frame so it doesn't look like you have all those wires hanging over there. Couple things we have here for setups after you've built the helicopter. Okay, here we have our rod length, our rod end. I'm going to grab my ball link pliers over here. How we use these, what would you do is you see there's a little protruded spot in here, and that's going to push the link off of the swash plate when you use these. So if the swash plate was on this side, on my side, you would take this and put it on the outside of the ball there, and you'd push it, and it would force that ball link off of the swash plate. If you were installing it, you would want to switch these around the other way, put it on here, and then force the ball link onto the swash plate. Works really, really well. Another nice thing that these have is a lot of folks will take a pair of pliers and they'll grab a hold of their link and then do the adjusting. Well, what happens is if that rod starts spinning inside that link, you're going to mar up the rod, and as soon as you mar that rod up, it's going to start corroding on you. These have a slot in here, a round slot for 2 different sized links, where it will just grab onto your rod, and then you can go ahead and adjust your links. Now, we've all been there where we adjust them and they get down real tight and it starts hurting to adjust them. That's where we have this other tool that comes in real handy. It's just a ball link wrench. It goes on here like so, and then we just take here and we can just turn it and adjust the link the way it is, to the right amount. If you want to do both of them, you have a link that needs to go both. You can really simply, it comes in a pack of 2. You just sit here and you can adjust them both at the same time. And then once you have them adjusted, now you're going to take your calipers and you're going to measure to make sure you have the right adjustment. Also, what we have here is a leveler, swash leveler. These come in different sizes for the different helicopter based on the shaft size, okay, and also based on the length that the swash arms come out. What this does is you take your rotor head off, you have your swash plate down on the helicopter. This slides over the main shaft, okay, and it comes down onto the swash plate. Now, if the swash plate is not level, this will be level because it's governed by the shaft. If the swash plate is not level, you'll see something like this, and you'll just adjust the arms on your linkages until you can get that swash to match up with the arms on the swash leveler, and that will tell you that your swash is level. Last thing we have here is your pitch gauge. You'll need one of these for any flybarless system. Most of them have where the pitch gauge comes off of the arm. This just clamps onto your rotor blades. It can clamp on with the pitch gauge hanging down, this particular one, or you can clamp it this way with the pitch gauge on the top, depending on what makes it easier for you to adjust. The pitch gauge works really simple. You have to level it out on some flat surface, more than likely going to be your motor or your rotor head. And once you do that and you zero it out, again following the instructions that come with the pitch gauge, then you would go ahead and it's all held on by magnets. You would put it on the holder, and then it would measure your pitch as you change the blades with your setup. Have to have one of these. I would suggest you keep this in your flight box as well. If your helicopter is not behaving like you want it to, the first thing I would do is take a look at my pitch. And again, since we're finished and we've done a good job, we'll go back to our ReadyHeli mints. That's our dessert. Actually, it could be our breakfast or lunch and a dessert. And so you get them with every order that you place with ReadyHeli. Hope that explains the fuel tools that you could use, that you need to use, to build your helicopter. Again, they're all available here at ReadyHeli, either individually or as a kit. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.